G'day guys, welcome to my RX Wise V2 video. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about NRL 9's week 1 of this draw for 2020 guys, so let's get started. So the first match of this round, we see the Panthers going up against the Roosters. What I can say about this round is, this game, I'd say, I reckon the Panthers will do well. They've got Episode Carousel, which he changed, and obviously contract from the Manly Seagulls to the Panthers anyway, which I think is a great signing, and he will do very good into this squad. Because you've got Phil Yamakikau, Nathan Cleary, Josh Mansour, and I'd say lots of different squads. Really, what I can say about this game is I just think the Roosters might have that energy in attack, because Roosters are a very good team that absolutely have that formation, but without Latrell Mitchell, without Latrell Mitchell, Cooper Cronk, maybe I'd say Jake Friend might come in and maybe not. I just think how the way this is going to go, I reckon that if this game is going to be an absolute great game, I just think that the Roosters might get a win here, but I'm just going to tip the Panthers on this one, because really what I can say about this match is Panthers are a very good team, and I reckon that this team could be a very good team, it's definitely the Panthers, because they need to have that form, and they're growing into that formation, because they have Episode Carousel, which he's a very good player, but sometimes he doesn't really do well into that defense. But then I think Roosters might do well. They've got Cole Flanagan, which he's coming into that squad, which he is debuting from Cronulla Sharks to obviously the Sydney Roosters. And what I like about it is how the way they absolutely formate, and it's absolutely very cool. But I'm going to go with the Panthers on this one, and I'm just going to go with I'd say 20-8, I'd say, or 20-9. I just think how the way this is going to go, I reckon that they'll probably play well anyway. The next game of this round, we see the Warriors taking on against the Knights. Okay, so saying this game, Warriors are a very good team. You got Knights, a very good team also, but then you got Jaden Brayley, which he is going to debut for the Knights, because he's obviously played for the Cronulla Sharks, but he's obviously going to switch and play for Newcastle Knights anyway. You got Jordan Kahu, which I don't think he's going to play in this game. You got Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. He is an absolute great player. He's an absolute freak. And I say, look at this, how the way this formation is. I like how the way that Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, you got Cam Mamalo, David Fusatua, lots of great players in that squad. I just think it's going to do pretty much very well. And I recommend how the way the Warriors are. They are a very good squad. Stephen Kearney has left for the Warriors, and I just think it's not good at all to see him losing his contract and obviously not making that effort to obviously still coach for the Warriors. But I think Nathan Brown from the Newcastle Knights, which he used to coach for the Newcastle Knights, is going to coach for the Warriors anyway. Which I think is absolutely brilliant to see him coaching again, and just seeing how the way his emotion is. It's an absolute great team to see, a couple of these squads absolutely formate, and I just think it's going to be a friendly match, which I don't think it will be, but I just think going up against Newcastle Knights, I'm going to go with the Newcastle Knights on this one, and I'm going to go with I'd say this is going to be a hard one. I'm going to go with 8 points to 10, and 10 points to 8, sorry, 10 points to 8, and I just think they'll do better in that squad anyway. The next game of this round, we see the Bulldogs going up against the Parramatta Eels. Now, I'd say, what I can say about this game is, I just think how the way it's going to go, Bulldogs are a very good team, and Parramatta Eels are a very strong squad. But I don't know how this game is going to go. But for this one, I just think how the way it's going to go for, like, I'd say this formation. And then you got, like, Reece Davies coming into the squad, coming into Parramatta Eels, contract into that team. Like, I just think that Reece Davies, I don't think he'll play at the moment. I reckon he's going to play for, I'd say, Canterbury Cup or something like that. But I heard that Reece Davies is coming into, I'd say, maybe into the squad, but I don't think he's going to play for the NRL Nines. And I just think how the way it's going to go. Parramatta Eels are doing very good, like last year in the pre-season. And I'd say Blake Ferguson, Brad Takarangi, Michael Jennings, even Mike Osivo, he's done absolutely brilliant. And I really like how the way Mike Osivo just steps and crusher tackles everyone and oversteps them and scores heaps of tries, which I like. And really what I can say about this game is Bulldogs are a very good team. They've obviously got like Dallin Watene-Selesniak, Nick Meaney, which he is a killer of a freak. Will Hopewade, I don't really like how the way he's doing. He doesn't really play that much of football. He doesn't play talented. And I don't think how the way this game's going to go. I reckon that I'm going to go with the Parramatta Eels on this one. And I'm going to go with 20 points to 6. And I just think how the way it's going to go, I just don't think it's going to end well for the Bulldogs anyway. The next game of this round, we see the Dragons going up against the Sharks. Now, this game, I just think it's going to be very hard on this one because Corey Norman usually plays in this squad. Matt Duffy usually plays in the squad, but I think Zach Lomax is replacing him by the fullback role. And really what I can say about this match is I like how the way their defense is absolutely incredible. But you obviously got like Chad Townsend, which he is an absolute killer of a freak. He is the best halfback of the Sharks, and I just think how the way it's going to go for him, like, I reckon that he is going to be super killer of a freak, and I reckon that Sharks will probably do well in this game anyway. But also too, I like how the way Matt Duffy is not into that squad, because you obviously got a backup. If the backup, say for instance, if someone gets injured, Matt Duffy comes into that squad and he replaces that role of a fullback anyway, which he is a really good player, but sometimes I like how the way he sometimes gets that line speed and obviously runs with the ball. But I reckon that Matt Duffy is a really cool player, but it's just not working for him sometimes. It's like not the day for it for him sometimes. But you obviously got like Corey Norman, he's an absolute killer of a freak, and I do like how the way he plays very good football, and he's very talented. But sometimes going up against Parramatta Eels, he doesn't really play that great of a game, but he plays very well. I'm not saying that he's terrible. He's an absolute killer of a freak. I like how the way he plays his great football and formates really well. So I'm definitely going to go with the Dragons on this one, and I'm definitely going to go with, like, say, 18 to 12. And I just think how the way it's going to go, I reckon Dragons will get this one for their team anyway. The next game of this round, we see the Raiders going up against the Gold Coast Titans. Now, this game, I think, it's very simple. Gold Coast Titans aren't playing that good. I just don't think they'll have a very good game in the pre-season of the actual NRL season. But for this match, going up against, like, Raiders, I just reckon Raiders will definitely smash the Titans anyway, because they've got, like, Josh Hodgson, Jordan Rapana, Charles A. Nickel-Clockstad, Bailey Simonson, all those key players, and I just think Elliot Whitehead and John Bateman will absolutely dominate them, and I really think that they're going to do well in the pre-season anyway for the Raiders, and I like how the way they formate and obviously produce one of the most talented games of football in the NRL anyway. But really also too, how the way they formate is sometimes very I just think it's very off. But I like how the way Raiders are putting that spot on the line because Ricky Stewart works to them pretty hard, and I like how the way they do it because if you don't want to like overstep the boundary, Ricky Stewart sometimes doesn't let you. So, say for instance, if Titans doesn't do really well, I reckon that Raiders will probably do very well. So, I don't know if this game is going to be a very good game, but it will be because it's obviously the Raiders, but Titans, I don't know about this one because it's just going to be a very confusing game for you guys, and I just don't think you guys win this game. So I'm going to go with the Raiders on this one, and I just think any score will probably smash the Titans anyway. So I'm going to go with 14 points to 10, and I reckon that Raiders will definitely just get into that match, and I reckon that they'll win up against the Titans and for their team anyway. The next game of this round, we see the West Tigers going up against the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Now, this club, I just don't think it's a very hard decision, but it's just not a very definite yes or a no, because usually I think they're going to swap it because, fairly enough, guess who was playing for the Sydney Roosters, but it isn't, and it's coming to the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Latrell Mitchell. Now, he's going to be the fullback. I like how the way this is going to turn out, and South Sydney Rabbitohs will absolutely dominate the West Tigers. I just don't think that the West Tigers will play their great game, and I just don't think the West Tigers will obviously play a definite great game, but let's just see how the way it goes because Corey Thompson is a very cool, decent player, and I don't like how the way they formate, but Corey Thompson, I just don't think he's not that good I just don't think he's better than Latrell Mitchell, and I don't think that he definitely does a talented, let's say, oversteps and runs with the ball and stuff like that and passes. But Latrell Mitchell is a very talented player, and I do like him anyway. I do respect him. But I just don't think that West Tigers are going to do a good job on the South Sydney Rabbitohs, and I recommend that they probably would. But if Corey Allen's going to be into that team, I just don't think that South Sydney Rabbitohs will do good. And if he's going to be on the wing, he is not that fast, and I don't really like him because he is just absolutely terrible. But I'm going to go with the South Sydney Rabbitohs on this one, and I'm going to go with 20 points to 8 anyway. The next game of this round, we see the Cowboys going up against the Broncos. Now, this game is fairly hard, and the Cowboys are not playing as much of football they are, but there is a but in this, because guess what? Valentine Holmes is coming back from the NFL, and he's playing for the Cowboys anyway, and he's playing for the fullback, and he's playing for that squad, and I like how the way this formation is fairly cool, because Valentine Holmes is a key player and a very talented player. And what I can say about this game is it's fairly shocking, because last year Cowboys had a shocking year and they were fairly off, and they only had a mid-drift, because I could say that they didn't really have a really good season. And I just think how the way it's going to go, I don't think Broncos are going to do very well, but they have Jordan Kahu, which he is a very good player, and I like how the way they formate, because really Alex Glenn and Jordan Rapana have a very good game, but last year they were fairly poor up against the Parramatta Eels, which that one was like 50 points to 0, I'd say, and that was fairly shocking for the Broncos, and where were they at? And I just don't think that this game is going to be a very good game, but it's fairly hard on this one. Two very hard teams, and I'm just going to say I'm going to go with the Broncos, and I'm going to go with 10 points to 2. And I just don't think that this game is gonna go as planned because these two clubs are similar, but they don't really create a very talented game. But I don't think Cowboys will do very much into that attack. So I'm definitely going to go with the Broncos on this one anyway. And last but certainly not least, Melbourne Storm going up against the Manly Sea Eagles. And I just don't think that Manly Sea Eagles will do well into this match, but they are a very cool team. But they've got three brothers, which, like, I'd say they'll do well now. But I don't know if he's going to come into that squad. So, really what I can say about this game is they've got, like, Ruben Garrick, Tom Travojevic, which he is a very good player, and I do like him and do respect him. But also what I can say about this game is I don't like how the way that their key defense is not really paying off. But sometimes though, I just don't like how the way they just formate and then obviously clash, which they obviously sometimes lose the ball and then they obviously let the other opponent score. So then that means I'm going to go with the Melbourne Storm, but Melbourne Storm are a very good team. They obviously got Nico Hines, which he is obviously like a dominant player, which he is a development player, and I don't think that he's going to be into that squad soon, which I think that he's going to be in reserves grade just so that he can build his confidence and build his momentum. So I'm going to go with the Melbourne Storm on this one, and they are a very good team. I just don't think that Manly Sea Eagles will obviously beat them because they are a very hard team to beat. They're the second hard team to beat, which you obviously got the Raiders and the Melbourne Storm, that are two very good teams that they're hard to beat anyway. So I like this team, and I'm going to go with the Melbourne Storm on this one, just because that they are a very good team, and I like how the way they formate, and they are just training so much, because I reckon Josh Adokar is going to score 3 tries, and I just see that Melbourne Storm are just going to take this home win for an absolute great game anyway. So I'm definitely going to go with 24 points to 9, and I just don't think that Manly Sea Eagles will dominate up against the Melbourne Storm anyway. Thanks guys for watching my video, guys. Stay tuned for more. I will be doing a couple of videos coming to you guys soon. Also, I'll be doing more videos coming to you guys soon, so stay tuned for more. Plus, leave a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and for this video, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Until then, take care guys, stay safe, and have a good one.